continuing on the traffic light style of fly, we use on Chew and Blagdon also a traffic light black buzzer, black Diawl Bach. So I'm just going to start with the black cockhackle. Selecting a size. Obviously, I'm going to pull the fibres off the stem of the feather to create my tail. So I've just selected one that's roughly about a hook and a half, but a hook's length is what I'm after. Okay. So I'm going to get a couple of fibres, form a tail, put it on top of the hook shank and bind it down. My last turn is going to be quite slack rather than under tension or taut to keep the fibre from splitting. I'm just going to put one underneath, again correcting the fibre so the fibre doesn't go flat or fold back down behind the hook itself. I'm going to get hold of a very fine, it's an extra fine fly box wire that I'm using. I'm going to catch the red fly box fine in. With this pearl, the Mirage pearl, the Mirage does tend to take over the red colour. Yeah, so if I go and get hold of a natural or a mother of pearl colour, if I can get my hands on one, it'll demonstrate how the pearl, is that regular? Yeah, there's a medium. How the red, you can change your pearl and it'll send the colour, obviously send the red through more rather than the Mirage. The Mirage does tend to take over more, should we say. When it's wet, it shows through quite a lot. So I've gone for a standard uni thread pearl now. Again, that's in the medium thickness, usually. Pearl first, followed by the red. As opposed to using peacock, I'm going to use pheasant tail. You can get a nice fine body. You're not going to see much of the body to get the peacock to actually come through the ribbon. The ribbon is going to form most or best part of the body then, should I say. So I've attached my peacock by the tips. Sorry, my fingers are going to be in the way of this most of the time. I'm just taking it around and using my finger to keep it flat against the hook shank and stop it unravelling or coming loose and going backward.
Sean?
Yes?
Do you ever wind pheasant tail around the tying thread and use it as a combination?
Yes, I have done. I've done it a bit with peacock.
So I find it's actually a little easier to do.
Yeah, wrap it round the thread and then wind the thread.
Yeah.
Do you find it gets slack as you go in, as you turn in? You've got to keep twisting it as you go in.
Yeah, you probably got to keep an eye on it.
Yeah, it is something I have done. I tend to do it with cormorants.
Yeah.
If I'm doing a plain cormorant and I'm not going to put any ribbon,
yeah,
I do tend to do it that way. So if I want it really drab, really plain, I'm using the tips of the marabou. These sections, so it's a really fine cormorant wing on it.
yeah.
I do tend to do that, make it quite natural, and as a cormorant is basically a small lure then in effect, over an imitation. But I do tend to do that with that, yeah. Again, singly, I'm going to take the red round. And catch that in there. I'm going to go with the pearl next. And try and come directly over the top. Now, when this one comes round, you'll see the difference between a Mirage pearl and what you'd call an old mother of pearl colour, the original pearl. The red does come through a lot more than it did with the Mirage. I actually prefer this one to the Mirage. It's not so bright or glary. With the rib, I'm going to back wind over the top to obviously cross bond or keep constant tension on it round the silk. And slide the silk up. The rib, you won't see much of the rib. It is there only to hold the pearl or make the pearl. Oh no! Make the pearl more durable. There are several different ways of attaching a beard hackle. My preferred way, obviously, just go straight underneath, hold it in place. 360 rotary vices and so on. You can turn it upside down and attach it from this way down. It's a personal preference, but I tend to put it in place and dress it with my fingers. Again, a good way to keep it together is just put a slack turn or a loose turn in place, and it'll go straight flat. When it comes down, you'll find that hackle is flat and on the underside. Big screen's making it look absolutely awful over there, but it is actually flat underneath. On this particular pattern, and black, as a rule, we tend to find that the lighter jungle cock is preferred over a darker jungle cock, especially with, like, as I said, with black colours. We do tend to use the lighter JCs over the really, really dark coloured ones. So I'm going to get one and I'm going to split it, split one nail. Just wetting the nail to stop it splitting as I'm attaching it. So I'm looking, oh, it's a bit big, to attach the opposite side eye first. Because they're off the same feather, sometimes I do tend to, if I can't get two the same size by splitting one, or I haven't got two splits, I will take another eye and keep the opposite section. So if I got a large split on one side and a thinner split, I might take the larger and keep the thinner one separate. So with this one, it's easy to align them because you can tie, obviously, the banding of the eye comes together on the actual feather stroke itself, and as long as they're aligned, they should be fairly together. But when you've got two separate eyes, then bands will not line up to give you the same length either side, so front or off side, near side. And there's a traffic light, black Diawl.